All right, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily, where you subscribe for a video on cryptocurrency every day. My name's Austin. Today I want to update you on the latest altcoins making news that you should know. So, like always, check the timestamps down below in the video description, and let's jump in. The CME, Major Derivatives Exchange, is launching micro Bitcoin futures in May. This is, of course, a completely legal, a completely acceptable way for traditional markets to influence, to manipulate the price of Bitcoin without actually having to hold any Bitcoin. And the reason it's micro futures is to specifically target the little guy, the retail investor, who they want on their platform. Let's listen to this insight from CME Chairman and CEO Terry Duffy on why they are now about to offer the smaller Bitcoin futures contracts, and if the average retail investor is savvy enough to understand them. Watch this, and then let me give you my thoughts.
To that point of the retail trader not going away, Terry, and coming out with products, you're launching Bitcoin mini futures. And this, when I read about it, it sounded like a product specifically for the retail trader. Is there any concern on your part that retail traders are jumping headlong into trading into products like this, which they may not understand?
I guess I would ask the question back to you, Melissa. Are the participants who are retail traders jumping headlong into gambling all around the world when you have commercials from certain entities that are offering the first $2,000 free? Don't worry about it, and then we'll keep going. So the retail trader is much more savvy today, and when you look at a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin at $56,000, $57,000 a Bitcoin, our contract is 5 Bitcoins per contract, so it's an extremely large contract. We're talking several $100,000 for one of our contracts. So to go into a smaller one, it's not just catering to the retail participants, Melissa. It's catering to the institutional clients because of the value of the increase of the cryptocurrency in of itself.
Okay, very interesting. Give me your thoughts down below in the video comment section. I really would like to know what you think. But let me share 3 things. Number 1, ultimately, if the big guys are able to do this with the CME contracts offered now, this is a good thing because it does give the little guy equal exposure to these derivatives. Number 2, this is a bad thing because it will lead to market manipulation. With CME cryptocurrency futures, investors/traders aren't required to actually ever hold Bitcoin. You do not need a digital wallet because Bitcoin futures are financially settled, meaning settled in fiat, and therefore do not involve the exchange of actual Bitcoin. And number 3, while these are only micro contracts for Bitcoin right now, the CME does already have regular contracts for Ethereum. The exchange also launched Ethereum futures contracts last month, and those have seen around 767 contracts traded on average each day, or equivalent to around 38,000 Ethereum on average traded each day since launch. Okay, so whether you hold Bitcoin or whether you hold Ethereum, this does affect you. Give me your thoughts down below in the comment section. Again, if we want mass adoption, this sort of thing is inevitable. The second more news like this drops, I will make a video. I will keep you updated. Okay, before we get to the latest altcoin news, you should see this. This just happened yesterday from heavily respected billionaire investor Peter Thiel. China using Bitcoin as a financial weapon against the United States. So check this out. This is Peter Thiel, who was one of the co-founders of PayPal, speaking at the Richard Nixon Foundation about America's strategy in geopolitics. He says that because America's US dollar is right now the world reserve currency, just like we've seen China prop up the euro in the last decade to weaken the strength of the American dollar, it's not out of the question for China to like Bitcoin because it does the exact same thing. Watch this. Let me know what you think.
From China's point of view, they want to get, they don't like the US having this reserve currency, because it gives us, a lot of leverage over, Iranian oil supply chains and all sorts of things like that. They don't want the renminbi to become a reserve currency. because then you have to open your capital account and you have to do all sorts of things that they really don't want to do. I think the euro you could think of as, was in part a Chinese weapon against the dollar. The last decade it hasn't quite worked out that way, but that was, China would have liked to see two reserve currencies like the euro. And, even though I'm sort of a pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin maximalist person, I do wonder whether at this point Bitcoin is also should also be thought in part as a Chinese financial weapon against the U.S., where it threatens fiat money, but it especially threatens the U.S. Dollar, and China wants to do things to weaken it. So it's sort of China is long Bitcoin, and perhaps from a geopolitical perspective, the U.S. should be a little bit be asking some tougher questions about exactly how that works.
Wow, very interesting. And notice he says that he's pro-cryptocurrency. He likes Bitcoin. And if you listen to the full segment, at no point does Thiel suggest regulating Bitcoin or banning Bitcoin. He is suggesting the U.S. consider stacking sats, this is paraphrased in so many words, as a defensive move against China's attempt at displacing U.S. dominance. Some would say Thiel is playing 4D chess, isn't he? Encouraging the U.S. at the Nixon seminar to keep thinking about Bitcoin. I do think that this year, 2021, is the year of corporate interest, institutional interest for Bitcoin. But over the next decade, it will be more of a governmental/central bank interest. And I think what billionaire Peter Thiel is saying here to the US, guys, embrace it. We can't get rid of it. Might as well make sure no other country can get the edge on us. Embrace it. And next piece of very interesting data for altcoin, the Graph. The Graph can't stop, won't stop growing. In March, the hosted service processed approximately 19 billion queries in total, around over 600 million queries per day. Web3 is here to stay. And even though prices are still consolidating, fundamental metrics like this are a big green flag. And going further, next big announcement from Avalanche, Graph Protocol is now integrated with Avalanche, meaning developers can now query its on-chain data without hosting a node to build highly performant applications. Pretty interesting for Avalanche and the Graph, and what this means, the Graph's network continues to grow. Next piece of news for Vechain, this just broke. The Salesforce Director of Strategy and Architecture has successfully tested enterprise adoption ideas on Vechain Thor. And Salesforce, obviously a major company, they also work with many, many other major companies. So what is the news today? Daniel N., the Director of Strategy and Architecture at Salesforce, built an open source Salesforce toolchain adapter to enable open, seamless data sharing across multiple platforms using data hashed on the Vechain Thor public blockchain. So while this is just being tested right now, this is a huge sign of support from Salesforce, and in a direct quote, "A key benefit of working with Vechain was the simplicity of integration. Vechain provides a blockchain as a service platform, which meant I did not have to provide any intermediary architecture myself. From what I've seen, this is unique to the Vechain Thor public blockchain, and I thought it was a very good idea, especially for organizations who don't necessarily want to invest in more systems to maintain." Interesting. If you hold Vechain, give me your thoughts down below. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Blockfi. Blockfi is providing traditional banking services to cryptocurrency investors. So if you have Bitcoin, if you have Ethereum, if you have Litecoin, or a vast array of stablecoins, you can put it in interest-bearing accounts and earn some passive interest. Put your cryptocurrency to work, earn up to 8.6% APY with a Blockfi interest account. And right now, if you sign up with our link, blockfi.com/altcoin daily down below, you can get up to a $250 crypto bonus with a deposit of $25 or more in crypto. Also, if you ever need USD immediately, they do offer crypto-backed loans. Basically, by using your crypto as collateral, you can access that liquidity without selling and unlock up to 50% of the value of such assets in USD. Very transparent interest rates, no hidden fees, and of course, it's backed by some of the biggest names in custody in the space. So if you're looking to earn interest, Blockfi is a solid option. Use our link down below. Check it out. And next piece of news for Ethereum/NFTs. Mark Cuban says that NFTs could disrupt electronic signature firms. Check this out. In an episode of the Unchained podcast released yesterday, Cuban said anything documentation driven could potentially be transformed by non-fungible tokens or NFTs. The billionaire said that smart contracts could destabilize companies like electronic signature technology firm DocuSign. In a direct quote from Cuban, "I think there's going to be a fair amount of winners in the NFT industry. Probably within the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to see a huge consolidation, or somebody who got bigger that we didn't expect to get big, and they buy up the others to get their NFT base and get their customers." So we are watching this new space work out in real time. An interesting perspective from Cuban. All right, that is the video. My name's Austin. See you tomorrow. Good video. Good video.